Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm off to the woods with the, the Mamiya 6 medium format folding camera from the 1950s. And I'm not going to get lost today because I know these woods like the back of my hand. I'm going to go and take a few photographs. Now with this medium format film I've got Ilford Delta 400 in here, so nice speed for inside the woods. It's a nice light overcast day, so there's going to be no sun or shadows and crap like that going on, so it's just going to be pretty flat really. Medium format, I love shooting medium format film, and I got into medium format way before I even started the channel. When I was shooting 35mm for quite some time, I wondered about medium format and I didn't have a medium format camera. So I got on the blower to my mate Fraser, and I asked Fraser if I could borrow his Mamiya 645 camera because I wanted to try medium format out. He said, yeah, no problem. So he turns up, gives me the camera, and I bought a roll of, I can't remember, probably FP4, I think it was FP4 120 film, and all of a sudden I was in a new world of photography. I thought, wow, this is different, larger film format, larger camera, and I can remember having not so much trouble, but just a little bit tricky trying to load the film into this camera because it was all new to me. And then when I got around to the development, it was like, blimey, this is even weirder, trying to put this massive 120 format film into the developing reel when you're used to 35mm. It's a big deal, you know. But I soon got on with it and quite enjoyed the process. And when I really wanted to get myself into it, I got, my first camera was the Zeiss Icon Netar, which is a one of these folding camera from the 1950s, and that was it. I was totally hooked. So I'm going to mill around these woods and see what I can get. Some lovely leaves going on today. Might get some low down shots. I'll tell you a bit more about the medium format stuff, then we'll come back on the shoot. There's many medium format films on the market to try, and many good cameras around for all budgets. Medium format films are commonly known as 120 film. Depending on the camera you buy, the negative sizes are 6x5, 6x6, 6x7 and a huge 6x9, and you can use the same 120 roll for all of those standards, but the larger the negative, the less frames you have to shoot per roll. A 6x5 camera will give you 15 frames, a 6x6 camera will give you 12 frames, a 6x7 10 frames, and a 6x9 will give you just 8 frames. On the back of the paper you can see the number of the frames indicated. These are only used if your camera has a small red window in the back, so you can see the frame as you advance in the film. And the little red window at the back of the camera is placed according to its format size. These ones are 6x6 and are placed in the middle. The little red window is not going to ruin the film as the backing paper is light tight and not transparent, so any light shouldn't be touching the film. Developing a 120 film is the same as you would a 35mm film, except you need to change the reel size and have a bit of practice loading it onto the reel. Once you've got the hang of it, then developing 120 film is just as easy as 35mm film. Buying the film is easy, and no doubt there is a 120 film available in your regular go-to film, and it's not much difference in price either. The cameras is where you're going to be spoilt for choice. With so many different makes and models and formats on the used market, it's knowing what to decide on. My first medium format camera was a Zeiss Icon Netar 6x6 camera, and it cost me about £50 and it worked a treat. I got to love the 6x6 format so much that I bought another Zeiss Icon, and then I went and bought a Affilaited as well. These old folding cameras are great, but you do have to do a bit of homework just to make sure that the one you get works on all shutter speeds and it hasn't got any lens fungus or sticky blades or leaky bellows. And it's not uncommon for some of the slower shutter speeds not to be working. If your budget allows you to step up, there is a whole range of well looked after medium format cameras by SFLaB, Mamiya, Bronica and Valoi, just to name a few, along with some fine lenses also. But if you're on a budget, which most of us are, then I'd recommend these old classic folding cameras, some of which have terrific lenses, giving the big guns a run for their money. Fiddlesticks! I almost forgot about the 120 pinhole cameras and the awesome Holga camera too. The Holga is probably the cheapest 120 film out there and is great fun. This is a 120 medium format film roll, and you can see this has got a paper backing. Underneath the paper backing is the actual film itself, which is taped at one end. It's tricky at first to handle the film, but you soon get used to it. And with the negatives being larger than 35mm, you're technically going to get more silver on the negative to play with. So apart from the Holga and a few pinhole cameras, this is a real cheap inexpensive way to get into medium format. These cameras, there's plenty of them online. You just got to make sure that, you know, do your homework, ask the questions, that the shutter speeds are working, the blades are not sticky, it works on all apertures, the bellows are not leaking. They're tests that you'll have to do obviously when you get the camera. And also that the lens hasn't got any fungus in it either, because these are old cameras. This one's from the 1950s and it's mint. So I've got my first scene sorted out. It's this tree right here. Not much to say really, other than do a light meter and take a shot. 400 speed film back towards the camera. Just going to measure the light coming down. 1/25 of a second, 2.8. Look at that. So my meter's giving me a reading of 1/25 of a second, 2.8, and this camera, if I look at the shutter speeds, I've got 100th of a second and 50th of a second as well, but I haven't got 2.8, I've only got 3.5 as my widest aperture. So I'm going to wing this, go at 100, 3.5, take the shot, see what happens. So this Mamiya 6 camera is pretty cool. It's got a couple rangefinder inside, so the focusing is actually done on the back plate itself. It moves back and forward as opposed to the lens, and it's controlled by this little tiny wheel at the back of the camera. So as I'm looking through the rangefinder there and I'm turning the wheel, the back of the camera, the plate where the film sits, is moving back and forward, and that's giving me my focus. Pretty cool. And that's done. So the rangefinder I can see the tree, and also in the viewfinder I've got another vision of the tree, and I've got to try and bring those two together, and once they're together and nothing's blurry, it's in focus. I've got a feeling I can't use any smaller apertures in this woods, because I don't trust the slower speeds on this camera, although I think they're working. I might try a couple out. I've got 12 shots to use, haven't I? So I might try a couple of slower speeds out, and just keep that for a reference. Another nice composition there. The same lighting. I'm not going to re-meter. It's the same lighting. I'm sure of that. Shot 2 done. Let's try a slower shutter speed. So this shot, I've come quite wide on the whole scene, but I've got this little tiny branch in front of me with some nice little browny goldy leaves on. Although it's going to be black and white, focused in on the leaves. Shallow depth of field, see what sort of bokeh I can get with this camera. Bokeh, 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 what is it? Bokeh? Something like that. Blurry stuff. And because I'm at 100th of a second, I can hold this handheld. Got a nice little composition down here with this log. Down low. So, you know, none of this is spectacularly amazing photography. I'm just walking around with an old 1950s camera taking pictures in the woods. Might get a decent one out of this lot, I don't know. Just found this tree trunk here, looks quite interesting, but until you're taking a photograph of it, you never know. So there's a few things that I like about shooting medium format film. One is the size of the negatives. There's so much more silver on there that I can play with on scanning or in the darkroom to make my prints. The other reason is I'm only getting out of this 12 shots. If I had a 35mm camera around here, I'd have 36 or 24 shots to play with. I'd probably get bored after about 10, to be honest with you. If it was street photography, different kettle of fish. I'd need all those photographs to enjoy the time and shoot very quick. These cameras are a little bit slower, Not like the large format that I'm starting to get into. I can imagine coming around, it would be quite fun, spending a couple of hours finding a couple of really good compositions, 2 sheets of film, develop, print, bosh, done. But yeah, these little things are great. So if you want to get into, if you're looking at getting into medium format and you haven't got the budget to go for the bigger, higher end cameras, look for these. This is what I started on, and I know that a lot of people started off on these little tiny folding cameras, and I'll tell you what, they pack a bleeding good punch as well when you're taking your pictures. Bit of ivy on a slim tree always works, doesn't it? Shallow depth of field, see what we get with this. Looks a bit better. That's it, I've done all my 12 shots. 6x6 medium format camera. 12 shots is all I've got. I did put a post out on Instagram yesterday and people were saying bring all of your cameras. I've been all day long. I've been here just over an hour. Get out of it. The exciting part I find about film, and I've been doing this a long time now, and I still find it exciting to get back and develop the negatives and see what I've got. They might be underexposed, they might be underexposed, I don't know, until I get back and see what we've got. But you know, with these cameras you take a little bit of chance. It's all clockwork and it's old, you know, so you never know what you're going to get. But the main reason I'm making this video is people ask me quite often about medium format film, and people saying, you know, is it worth it? Is it hard to do? They're shooting 35mm at the moment, and it is absolutely worth it. You've got so much to gain from it, and if you've got all the developing kit already for 35mm, you're already there. All you need is a camera like this and a roll of 120 film. And obviously some sheets to put your negatives in afterwards. And you talk about the pros and cons of medium format film. There's so many pros, but as for the cons, there's not many at all that I can think of, only other than trying to find a camera that works and getting all the developing stuff. But if you're already developing 35mm at home, no problem. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching, and have a look through the channel because I've got more videos on medium format if you're interested. I'll catch you next time. Another dog. That's all right. Didn't pee on my tripod, so I don't care.